Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Good to see everybody. It's been a hot minute, but let's go ahead and get started here. So, I have Zio, Mediator Kawerik, and Inferno Khawazu over here on the left. Now, the main reason why was I was intending to outspeed the Peira. So with that, I hit her first, silence her, so now she's completely useless, and she's pushed back. So this leaves the Summertime Iseria to AoE me. And because I already have immunity up and attack buff, hey, that leaves Inferno Khawazu free to just absolutely nuke this this Lionheart. And with that, she's gone. Now, with only Summertime Iseria and Peira left, all we have to do is just hit Peira like 1 or 2 times, and then we just hit the Summertime Iseria because she's already blown her load. And this match is already over. Ain't that just dandy whenever things work out like that, huh? And then we go into our good old tried and true Arunka, Roana, and Shadow Knight Pyllis. So we go into Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, and we go into Choux. So I know I use this team a whole lot, but there is one thing in particular that you really should always be aware of, and try not to be complacent. Because, spoiler alert, probably in a few videos from now you're going to actually see the mighty Pyllis fail. But the biggest thing that you should always keep in mind is whenever you have the opportunity with Roana, you should almost always go into Senya. And the biggest reason for that is because Senya is almost always going to have counter buff up. Like, she gets it right here on her S3. So with that, you just gain extra heals. You get the heals from your Celestine from S1, and you also get your heals from the S2 Vigilant Eye. So that's what's really nice about it. You just always try to remember that. It's usually very easy to forget, especially if you ever have Choux like on the ropes and she's down to like really low HP, and you're just like, oh, I just gotta kill her, just gotta kill her, just gotta kill her. But yeah, if you just kind of like remember that one little factoid, you should almost always be good. You're going to see this comp work the whole way through on this video, but hey, keep a lookout for a few videos from now. You'll probably see the mighty Pyllis fail. But with that being said, all we got to do is we just got to go in and take care of Choux. And yeah, we're actually totally good, because the Choux has already like kind of blown her loads. She's done her S1s, S2s, and a lot of her counters, and it hasn't really been too crazy yet. The biggest thing that's usually like the biggest issue when you're going into see Lilias is anytime she pulls in the Choux. So like right here, we killed the Senya first. So you generally want the Senya to go, because a lot of people build their Senyas to not have obscene crazy attack, because they see attack as like, oh, it's not as much of a damage scaler as opposed to just being effectiveness, to be like a disruptor and doing all kinds of annoying shit to really like throw you off. And I completely understand that. But anytime you are fighting like a very heavy attack Senya, I mean, I've taken quite a fair bit of damage from them, just from the extra damage from Spear of a New Dawn. So it's absolutely a viable tactic. In fact, that's how my Senya is built. My Senya doesn't have any ER, and not really much effectiveness either. I just kind of went all ham hocks on attack. So, hey, if you see a means to use it, go right on ahead and do it. And she should be done. Yep. So now all we have left is Conqueror Lilias, and we're just going to kind of like play this out. Because, yeah, I already threw on the auto like a while back. And just so you all get like a real perspective, this was a GuildWar from Wednesday. This was from the 5th of April. So I'm not remembering everything like super relatively, because I have like 3 other videos to come up. But yeah, I just figured I'd go in and let you know about that. And with that said, that is match number 1. So, match 2. The initial strategy was to tank this hit with Save Your Adin, but speed RNG happened. So he hits my Destina first. So it's not really a big enough deal because my Destina has a lot of ER. So the plan was for him to hit Savior Adin, and then she was going to dodge it, you know, counterattack with the S2, and then I would take this opportunity to S3 and do like big damage to hopefully the Zeo. But now, basically what's happened is everything's kind of thrown out of whack. So I have to still get hit, which happens right here. Then I get my attack buff now. But the issue is, yeah, I didn't strip the barrier on the Zeo, so I'm not going to go for the S3 on the Zeo because I really don't think it's going to kill. 1, the Zeo has a barrier. 2, the Zeo has DFI. 3, Unbound Knight Arowell's there. So yeah, that's 3 really big damage mitigators. So if I'm going to just like let the S3 rip, and if I want to hit a dark unit, yeah, I'm just going to go in and go into A Ravi. I know the A Ravi probably had Proof of Valor, because quite frankly, that's what they're all going to have nowadays. But hey, whatevs. That's just the way it is. Which, in all honesty, I do kind of feel like Strax A Ravi might be a pretty legitimate strategy sometime in the future. Because, I mean, what's A Ravi's like biggest weakness now? It's basically just being controlled. Because, like, yeah, anytime there's, like, A Ravi on the field, if you just hit her with some debuffs, because of the nerf to Crimson Seed, they're not going to be running Crimson Seed. So, if you were running, like, really high ER and you still had the damage, I think you would still be a somewhat credible threat. But, I don't know. Don't talk to me about balance, man. I'm not a smart man. But, hey, with that, Zeo doesn't have DFI anymore. Bam. We can go ahead and tap him out. And Arowell is almost dead. So as soon as she's down, then we just have A Ravi left. So the only thing that could possibly go wrong at this point is if this attack actually were to hit Arowell, because if it hits her, it would probably kill her. But thankfully, we have Destina here. So Destina is really only there just for the sake of if Adin gets hit, then we can just bring her back. That's the only reason why she's there. So yeah, it's just, this is some pretty nice, pretty decent safety that you can use to go into this stuff. And with that said, this match is already over, especially because this A Ravi doesn't have any ER, because yeah, she's been hit by like about every debuff you could imagine. Like, she's gotten stunned multiple times. And with that, on this next turn that Adin gets, it's over. Shazam! And then on to the next round. I think it's more boring stuff. Yep, sorry guys, it is. It's going to be some more Arunka, Roana, and Shadow Knight Pyllis. So, but here's the interesting thing. So this is Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, and Mercedes. So here's something interesting that's really cool about Arunka. Unfortunately, I miss, but I am pretty positive that if I did hit, that would have killed. And that would have been a perfect counter to Mercedes, because if you kill with the S3, that's actually an extinction. The only reason why it killed and did not extinct there is because Uber's tooth is what killed her, not the actual S3. So, yeah, that would be something kind of nifty if they were to buff that about Arunka, and then you could really effectively use her against Mercedes teams. Like, if during the S3 animation for Arunka, if you kill a unit, they receive extinction, something like that. I think that would be something that would be kind of interesting, at least. Then you could rely on Uber's tooth to actually do some killing and still get some decent, like, extinctions or something, if they're still wanting to go down this route of doing extinction-related content. But either way, now that we've already killed the one true threat, which is the Mercedes, yeah, the match is already over. Because, like, anytime Senya is just by herself, she's really not a threat. Especially if you're in a healthy state. If you're in a healthy state and you're fighting against Senya, there's absolutely nothing that she can do about it. Like, even if you don't have, like, proper cleanses, if you've already dealt with the real DPS of the team and all you have left is Senya, you've already won. Like, yeah, case in point right there. We're down to Conqueror Lilias already. Now, I think this match might... Oh, no, this one isn't going to go too long. So, yeah, because we managed to get a couple of follow-ups. That's the other thing, man. I hate that so much about Arunka. Her S1 is so random. Sometimes it's, like, really consistent, and you just end up seeing the follow-up tons and tons of times. And then other times, you just straight up never see it. And also, if you ever miss an attack on the S1, it straight up will not proc, which that needs to change. That absolutely needs to change, because if it did, then you could use her against, like, evasion units. But anyway, on to the next fight. Oh boy. Look at all this variety. Guys, stop using Conqueror Lilias Senya Choux. Like, seriously, just stop. So, we've been getting really, really lucky lately with a lot of, like, 15% on our behalf. So, this is the other thing that's really disappointing. Like, look at that damage. Don't you just feel like that should be a little higher, considering, like, the term limits of using Arunka's S3? Like, yeah, it's supposed to do additional damage on if the unit has a barrier, but it's just not enough. And you have attack buff while you're doing that. Like, that's the part that's really, really bizarre. It almost makes me feel like there's a miscalculation in the damage values or something. Something just doesn't seem right. Now, I do know that this Choux is a little thick. Like, if you saw that in particular, this Choux had, what, 25,000 HP? And, I mean, hey, she probably has some defense as well. But, like, I don't know. I think my point still stands. I just feel like you should be doing a lot more damage considering the, like, terms that you have to work with for your S3. Because it's not like it's even really, really quick about getting it back. You really don't get the S3 back as quick as you would imagine. Maybe if it was one cooldown shorter, I could definitely see it being pretty viable. But, like, probably the biggest thing in general that I would really love for Arunka to have on her S3 is just if she cleansed even one debuff. Even one. Just because a lot of the times, the only time I ever really use Arunka is into Senya and Choux. Just because she doesn't deal with crit. Like, that's just a thing that she does. So it just kind of makes sense to me to use her into these two units. Because, one, you're going into a green unit, and you're going into a blue unit. Well, you happen to be a green unit. So you're not really at a disadvantage at any time from these two units. However, Choux is just so pants-shittingly retarded that, like, if she gets lucky enough, and if the game truly wills it, you can just straight up lose to Choux. Like, it can happen. Like, this team has been very, very consistent for a very long time. But I'm going to warn you now. If Choux wants to, Choux can just straight up end your life. It can happen. Like, hey, Conqueror Lilias could pull Choux every single time. Choux could proc her S2 every single time. And every turn that she has, she could proc her S2 on her S1 every single time. I've seen it. Now, this team is very consistent, and anytime I've seen it happen a large number of times, yeah, it's survived fairly well. But it's not 100%. This, if anything, I can honestly say this is probably like a very solid 95%. But, hey, that's just kind of how the nature of the beast goes. And if you happen to have been watching, I think I was trying to play, like, with the turn orders a little bit, but, like, I just couldn't get it to work out where I didn't have a debuff on me. So then I just pretty much said fuck it, and I just went into the Senya, and thankfully I was able to kill her. But, hey, whatevs. So we're done with this match. On to the next. Okay. So here is my attempt to see how much damage Straze can actually do. Because I know that this is going to hit Belian. And I know that Arowell is going to take a large portion of that. So I have attack buff, but I'm not using Portrait. So the next time I see this opportunity, I'm going to try this on Portrait. Okay, so that does a phenomenal amount of damage. With Portrait, I'm pretty positive that would actually kill Belian. Now, would it also kill Savior Adin? I don't think so, but I think it would be a prime opportunity for, like, Rylet to also kill the Savior Adin. Now, of course, because Rylet is Rylet and he's a fucking clown, we get hit by the attack that's, you know, not an extra additional, like, accuracy, and then we also get hit by this whenever we have double-edged crescent. So, cool. Hey, cool, look, we didn't dodge again. So, now it's starting to actually get a little bit dicey, because we still have to kill this Mercedes 2 times. So, we get our first death right here. And now, so we've got the one hit here, so I have to hit her again. Now, if Magic for Friends procs, I'm dead. Okay, so it didn't proc, and now I have skill null up, and everything's good. So, yeah, fun, huh? Isn't fighting Mercedes cool? definitely going to try that on Portrait, though. 100%. Yeah, look at that terrible Straze. Not even 260. Terrible unit. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to try that out on Portrait next time, and I'll see how much more effective that is. But anyway, I'm sure what you guys are actually wanting to hear. Yeah, I'm finally back from my oh-so-wonderful trip in Vegas for the Orbis Caster Clash. I had a wonderful time, and I'll just go ahead and say, like, hey, congratulations to Valky, congratulations to Divine Faker. Hope you guys had a good time with the competition as well. I know I had a good time. I'm not really feeling great as a result of coming back. I definitely feel like I caught something on my way back. But, hopefully it'll be out of my system in the next day or so. Just gotta take a bunch of ibuprofen, drink a lot of liquid. That's how it is. But either way, yeah. I hope all of you guys who watched the Orbis Caster Clash had a wonderful time watching it. And I am terribly sorry that even though I was picked for top 3, they presented it as if Sue had gotten top 3, but then said it was me. I really do kind of feel bad for Sue in that perspective, as well as like everybody else who was rooting for Sue. Yeah, I was just as confused as all of you because the screen was saying his name, but the hosts were saying it was me. But hey, I was just as surprised as all of you. Just just be sure of that. But either way, yeah, I'm really, really glad to have had the opportunity to go out there. Hopefully the next time I ever get an opportunity to do something like that, I won't absolutely embarrass myself whenever it comes to ad reads again. But hey, I'll do better. So hey, if you guys like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more of my content, go on ahead and hit subscribe. I hope to see y'all again soon. Later.